Visa execs are calling it the journey to cashless.
First of all, I'd like to say that we always had a disruption. It's just, it never was so disruptive as it is these days. And there is a reason for that.
They have the same problem with cell phones. It's kind of crazy today that we live quite comfortably in a world that George Orwell would have thought was super crazy.
So what do we say to those who say, you know what, listen, privacy is out the door. Everything's about convenience right now, and forsaking privacy is worth it given the convenience of devices like Alexa.
So the mark is something that will identify each individual who receives it within a global database. So with the mark and the mark of the beast, Revelation chapter 13, 14, 15, 16, 19, and 20 carry references to the Antichrist in association with his mark. In God's eyes, the mark is hideously vile. It's a sign of mankind's ultimate rejection of him and descent into evil. In Revelation chapter 14, for example, the Bible says the smoke of their torment ascends forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast and his image, and whoever receives the mark of his name. So to receive the mark of the beast is a complete rejection of God. I give my authority to the Antichrist, I submit to the Antichrist, and therefore I worship the Antichrist. So God says, hey, you receive the mark of the beast, you're done. You have no chance at salvation. That's a remarkable statement. And it's a scary and a frightening thing.
You say, well, then you should be happy. I mean, those kind of people, they're loving life right now because we are constantly giving up privacy, and we are only going to give up more privacy because we're entering an era of artificial intelligence.
Elon might be proof that time travel exists because he seems to have either more hours in the day than the rest of us have, or you know, or he's from the future. He's just, in all seriousness, I'm laughing because his ability to think cogently and thoughtfully about such a wide range of topics while running these multiple companies and seeming to be running them well is just, I mean, it's like it makes you shake your head.
Like we all carry a phone with a microphone that can be turned on really at any time without our knowledge, with a GPS that knows our position, and a camera, and well, kind of all of our personal information. We do this willingly, and it's kind of wild to think that that's the case.
To get that data everywhere, they have to invade your privacy in all kinds of ways. So we have this constant trade-off. For convenience and for innovation, we give up our privacy.
Issuing an alert this week that some so-called smart toys may be spying on your kids.
Even though these toys may be a lot of fun, they may be very educational, they may also have a dark side.
A sad sign of the times when even toys intended to educate can make trouble. A sad sign of the times.
But the way privacy and technology work is we just give it up as time goes on. So eventually they'll record more and they'll sell it to more places.
But that will use this data, whether or not they're large corporations or governments, to undermine our privacy, which is the foundation of a free society. Well, I was kind of shocked in reviewing the state of things to realize that these had all occurred. The digital age has brought us many wonders, but when you look at the bottom line of how it's impacted our economy and society, it's a troubling report.
Warns using it on air travelers could be a dangerous step toward building a more powerful surveillance infrastructure on Americans.
There's a pretty good chance that over time, if we don't put in place checks and balances and really, stop the application of this powerful surveillance technology on Americans, it will inevitably expand to other things.
So the problem is here that we seem to be forgetting just how much information we share, as we add it bit by bit in what I like to call data crumbs. Sure, that one picture you upload doesn't say a lot, but don't forget that this information is combined. And when it is, it provides an incredibly in-depth picture into your life.
Well, Revelation chapter 13, beginning in verse 16, says, he causes all. That'd be the false prophet. And again, we've already looked at the Antichrist. We've already looked at the false prophet. So this is the final message in Revelation 13. He, the false prophet, causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666.
Esau is leading the charge toward a cashless culture by connecting with electric race cars speeding through New York City.
We're already sharing biometric data with our phones, such as face scans and fingerprints, in order to unlock them, as well as some basic medical data. And let me warn you, we're entering a period of time where it's more valuable, and sometimes even cheaper, to store your data instead of delete it. And it's actively being used to train modern systems, such as artificial intelligence.
Let's talk about Elon Musk for a second then.
I have exposure to the very most cutting edge AI, and I think people should be really concerned about it. I keep sounding the alarm bell.
When it comes to the rest of us, Google says that we've only got time until 2030 when robots can match human intelligence.
So I invited a special guest today to help me with the opening. So, wake up, my little friend. All right, he's with us. So, could you tell us who you are?
I am not Levers.
Well, I know you are not Leverness. Leverness is standing here. So what's your name and why are you here?
My name is Nell, and I wanted to tell you all that my younger cousins are getting ready to conquest the world.
Really?
My computer, that the computer would either never beat the best human player or that it was 20 years away. And last year, AlphaGo, which was done by DeepMind, which is a kind of a Google subsidiary, absolutely crushed the world's best player. And now I can play the top 50 simultaneously and crush them all. So, just like that pace of progress is remarkable.
So, you saw the movie. What is going on around the world? We have a major migration, a lot of millions of people fleeing war and injustice. We have a climate change that is causing natural disasters in different parts of the world. We have, as you heard, a rapid urbanization. Actually, 200,000 people every day move into urban areas globally.
Problems today are more global, and this means there is no way any country can solve them by itself, and we need global answers.
The Agenda 2030 is an agenda aiming at a fair globalization.
ID 2020 is a global strategic initiative aiming to help deliver against the United Nations sustainable goal of legal identity for all.
Note a few things about this that we can just tell from the passage that we just read. This mark has to be an identifier because that's what mark in this context means. It may or may not be visible to the human eye. It will make the person visible to a global database. We'll get to the databases in a few more minutes, but I want you to think on this. See this picture up here? You see, I don't know if you can read what's behind him. It says Facial Identification Section, Real-Time Crime Center. Now this is artwork, right? But this is what is really happening. In China, they already have this facial recognition system that's up. People are judged based on a social credit score. And we've talked about the social credit score over in China before. But as we think of this facial recognition, the mark must be on your right hand or on your forehead. So when you think of facial recognition, our face is already being scanned. In a lot of places in the world, that's already happening. We've heard about RFID chips and that type of thing happening, people having a chip in their hand.
The right to privacy is not a fundamental right, but look at today's day and age, it's all digitized, all the information.
You don't have a choice, but you're going there voluntarily. This is not that. This is something far more dangerous. We are in something like a digital emergency, where the state or the government is taking all your data and linking it to everything else. When you buy an air ticket, a rail ticket, a ration card, a passport, a scholarship, whatever you do, they're all being compulsively taken. It started as voluntary, now it is mandatory, and it's everywhere.
So we're at one of those weird turning points, once again, in human history, where we're going to get another kick at the can to rewrite the economic power grid and to make a world that's more peer-to-peer and that's more just and that's more transparent. What an exciting time to be alive.